Princess Beatrice currently resides in the prestigious St. James's Palace with her husband, Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sienna. But while the palace remains a sanctuary for this family, another royal residence has become the focal point of intense debate and controversy. At the center of it all is Prince Andrew, Beatrice's father, who is embroiled in an ongoing feud over his refusal to vacate the royal lodge in Windsor. The lodge, a grand 30-room estate, has long been the home of the Duke of York and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson. However, with Prince Andrew's fall from grace after his ties to the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein were exposed, his occupancy of such an extravagant residence has come under sharp scrutiny. Stripped of his royal duties and titles, Prince Andrew remains a non-working royal, raising questions about whether he should continue living in such a lavish property. King Charles, his older brother, has made it clear that he considers the royal lodge far too opulent for someone who no longer serves the monarchy. As a result, the king has put pressure on Andrew to vacate the residence, sparking a battle over the future of this royal estate. Prince Andrew, however, has steadfastly refused to move. Despite losing his royal privileges, he remains resolute in his desire to stay at the royal lodge, which he shares with Sarah Ferguson. The Duke has rejected alternative accommodations proposed by King Charles, including Frogmore Cottage, which was vacated by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. This cottage, though smaller than the royal lodge, is still a royal property, yet Andrew has flatly declined the offer. Another option, Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate, has been floated as a potential residence. Wood Farm, a much quieter and more modest 5-bedroom home, has been favored by the York family in the past. Still, there's little indication that Andrew is willing to make this concession either. The standoff between King Charles and Prince Andrew has broader implications beyond just the housing dispute. It reflects the increasing rift within the royal family, exacerbated by Andrew's tarnished reputation and the firm stance that King Charles has taken since ascending the throne. As King Charles works to streamline the monarchy and cut costs, he is eager to see non-working royals like Andrew step back from enjoying the same privileges they once did. This includes Andrew's access to taxpayer-funded resources, such as security. In another blow to Andrew, reports suggest that King Charles has removed his brother's personal security detail, further heightening the pressure for him to downsize from the royal lodge. Without royal duties to justify this expense, Andrew would now be required to fund his own protection if he insists on staying at the estate, a potential financial burden that looms large as his sources of income have dwindled. It is clear that King Charles's patience is wearing thin. By revoking Prince Andrew's security and refusing to let him continue living in the royal lodge without making a substantial change, the king is sending a strong message. No longer will non-working royals live a life of luxury at the expense of the crown. Yet despite this, Andrew remains entrenched in his position, seemingly unwilling to concede his hold on the royal lodge. For Princess Beatrice, this ongoing saga concerning her father casts a shadow over her otherwise quiet life at St. James's Palace. There has been speculation that if Prince Andrew were to be forced out of Royal Lodge, he might seek alternative accommodations at St. James's Palace, where Beatrice and her family currently reside. However, reports suggest that this scenario is highly unlikely. King Charles, it seems, is not prepared to offer Andrew an apartment at St. James's Palace, further isolating him in his current standoff. The feud over Royal Lodge is not just a family dispute. It is emblematic of the wider challenges facing the monarchy in the modern era. As King Charles attempts to reshape the royal institution to be leaner and more sustainable, particularly in light of public discontent with royal extravagance, the question remains, how long can Prince Andrew resist the pressure to leave? And what will be the ultimate outcome for the disgraced Duke of York? The clock is ticking, and as Andrew's resources dwindle and the royal family continues to distance itself from him, his options become more limited. Whether he eventually capitulates and moves to a smaller residence or finds another way to cling to Royal Lodge, the battle over this estate has exposed deep fissures within the House of Windsor. As the situation unfolds, the public watches with a mixture of intrigue and disdain, wondering if this will be the final act in the saga of Prince Andrew's controversial life within the royal family.